Hey, third graders. It's Miss Simpson here. I'm looking out the window because I'm trying to figure out if I should go for a run or not. And so I was looking at the clouds and trying to think if it's going to snow really hard because I like running when it's cold and I like running when it's snowing, but I don't want to get caught in a hailstorm or a snowstorm for that matter. So I'm trying to use what we've learned in EL lately to look at the clouds and make a prediction about the weather. So have you ever done that before? Looked outside and looked at the clouds, and you have to look at the wind and see if the clouds are coming your way. And then you have to use your knowledge of clouds to figure out if it's a good time to do an activity, like go for a run or play soccer, or if maybe you should wait till later. So help me out here. Can you see outside my window? It's pretty gray out there. Like, I don't see any blue. So I see a little bit of light coming through. Um, it's important to notice that there is no blue sky. The sky is totally covered in clouds, but that does not necessarily mean they're storm clouds or that it's coming my way. So I've been looking at the clouds for a few minutes and I noticed that the clouds are coming my way. So if they're carrying a storm, it could be coming my direction. But like I said, there is some light coming through the clouds, so they're not that gray, meaning they're not carrying that much water, which could be rain or hail or snow. Do you remember what kind of cloud this is? So I made a little whiteboard about the 4 clouds that we learned about recently in environmental literacy. Hold on. Okay, we learned about these 4 clouds. The stratus up here, up there. The stratus cloud is a feathery, kind of wispy, thin-looking cloud. It's kind of spread out. That's what stratus means, spread out. And there's some blue sky behind it. So what we are looking at outside my window right now is not a stratus cloud. It's also not a cumulus cloud. A cumulus cloud is like some puffy white clouds in a blue sky. That's not what's out there. So let's look at the other 2 options. The other option is a stratonimbus or a cumulonimbus. And both of those are the storm clouds. So a stratonimbus is like a blanket of cloud. That's, I think, what I'm looking at, a stratonimbus. It's a spread out blanket of cloud. That means that it could rain or storm, but it's not going to be a very severe storm. That means it's not going to come down very hard. It might have some snow flurries for a long time, or it might have rain showers, but it won't be too hard. It's not going to be like a terrible hailstorm with lightning. And that's what I want to avoid. I also don't see this other kind of cloud called a cumulonimbus, which is a giant tower of white, puffy, dangerous looking gray, heavy clouds. That's not what I'm looking at. So, first of all, I think it's safe to go out. And so I'm probably going to go for my run. So that's what we're going to be doing this week in EL. We're going to be practicing making weather forecasts for ourselves so that we can decide if it's a good time to do an activity or if we should wait. So we're going to review those clouds and what they mean and how we can tell what that means for us personally. And then we're going to get some practice making forecasts using a worksheet. And then you're going to go make forecasts in your real life and post them on Padlet. Okay, let's go. Hi, third graders. Let's work on this worksheet together. If you haven't downloaded your own copy yet, pause here and download that because you want to have your own copy. We'll work through it together though. I'm going to use some of the tricks that Mr. West showed you a couple weeks ago just to remind you how to navigate around. So this is the first page of this worksheet. It's called Will It Storm? And the first thing I want to do is grab these 3 dots, pull that down to make it a little bigger. And that's not even big enough for me. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to zoom in a bit more. There we go. That's better for me. You can put your name at the top. So I'll just put my name in here and you can type yours in. Okay, this is called Will It Storm? I'm going to delete that because we can't see anything in color. All right, photo number one is a rowboat. Can you see the bow of the boat there? And we can see some clouds in the sky, and we can see the direction of the wind, and that's really important. So the wind arrow is pointing toward us, and I just want you to take a look at those clouds, and I want you to think in your mind, hey, what kind of cloud is that? You learned about 4 types of clouds last time, so think back. The 4 options are here: cumulus, cumulonimbus, stratus, and stratonimbus. Stratus, by the way, it means spread out. So which of these 4 do you think it is? While you're thinking, I'll remind you that we could use some of these tools over here to circle an answer or underline an answer. I'll show you how to do both. If you pick the shape tool, and you can pick out a shape you like an oval or a rounded rectangle. I think Mr. West showed you how to use a rounded, or I think you used an oval last time. How about I use this rounded rectangle? So what I'm seeing here, if I describe them to myself, they're like white puffy clouds that are kind of piled up on each other. And so it's the piled up puffy clouds that are this cumulonimbus. And I can see that my shape that I made, it covered up the word. So you know what I need to do? I need to go up here to the, looks like a little jar of paint, and I'm going to pick my fill color to fill in that rectangle I made. I want it to be transparent so I can see the word. And then I just want to stretch out my rectangle, and I can make it sized to fit. Okay? Now that's one tool you have to kind of indicate your answer. So, by the way, I wonder if you got it right. We can review. A cumulus cloud is like light, puffy little individual clouds floating across a blue sky. And you might think that's what this looks like, but they're more piled up. And I looked at the answer key, and so that's how I know, like when they're piled up this close together, we do call it cumulonimbus. Okay, the stratus cloud over here, I made that rectangle a little too big, didn't I? Let's make it right. Okay, a stratus cloud is spread out, but it's pretty thin looking, and you can see some blue behind it, and it's not a storm cloud. A stratonimbus is a blanket of spread out clouds, and it is a storm cloud, but the storm is not going to be very severe. So it might rain or snow for a long time, but it's never going to be like terrible. Okay, so question, are these storm clouds? Yes, they are. Did you get that right? Did you know that? I'm going to use a different tool this time. I'm going to use a line, and I can underline the one I want. So are these storm clouds? Yes or no? I'm going to draw a line with my line tool. Yes. And then I can color that line in with a marker if I want. I like pretty colors. And you can also make the line thicker if you want it to show up more. How about like that? I kind of like the underlining tool because it doesn't cover up the word. So are those storm clouds? Yes. And there are 2 types of storm clouds on that list, and they are the cumulonimbus and the stratonimbus, because that's like a pile up and it's carrying a lot of water, and that means a good storm. Now, the next question is, if they are storm clouds, how long will the storm last? What do you think? What's your prediction? We're going to be practicing making forecasts here. So it's not just a matter of, is the cloud coming my way? It's the other question of, is the cloud a storm cloud? And then the final question is, if it's going to storm, is it going to last a long time or a short time? So what do you think? Make a guess if you don't remember. Cumulonimbus is a less than an hour kind of storm. It might be a bad storm, but it's not going to last that long. I'm using that underlining tool again, and then I'll color it in again. I'll use the same color, and I'll use the same thickness, and there we go. The stratonimbus, like the clouds that I showed in my video outside my window, those are going to last hours and hours. It's like a spread out cloud. It's not going to be a very hard storm, but it might shower gently or moderately for hours and hours. All right, are the clouds coming this way? We can look at the wind arrow. And if you can imagine yourself in the boat, the wind is coming at you. So those clouds with whatever storm is in the cloud is coming our way. So uh, make sure I have my tool on me. Are the clouds coming my way? Yes. And would you row across the lake? Why or why not? Well, for some of these questions in later pictures and scenarios, you can maybe have a preference like, oh, I don't mind if it's not that sunny or whatever. But in this case, this is actually unsafe to be on the water in a potential thunderstorm is really unsafe. So I'm going to say, I'm going to click on it double so it highlights a little spot for me to type in. And I'm going to say, no way. Would I row across the lake? Why am I not? No way. It might storm, and that's unsafe. Safety first. Okay. And if you wanted to, you could do something fancy with your words. Like you could make your words a different color so that your answer stands out from the rest of the text. Oh, that is not what I wanted to do at all. Okay, don't do that. Do you know where the undo button is? This is important. A good trick. This little backward arrow means undo. You can make your mistakes go. All right. So that number one was some practice for us to do. I'm going to let you do number two by yourself. Take a look at this picture. You can make it bigger on your own. I'll make it bigger here. So if you need more time to work on photo number two, please hit pause again and finish up photo number two, the picnic. So the first question is, what clouds are in the sky? And I'm going to show you the answer key. I want you to compare what you did with the answer key, knowing that, of course, this is something new and you might need more practice before you get good at it. But that's what we're doing here, practicing so that when you go out later this week, you have more practice and can do a good job in real life. All right, I'm going to zoom in. All right, number two. When clouds are in the sky, these are stratonimbus, which is the spread out but thick, heavy clouds. And are they storm clouds? Yes, they are. If they are, how long will the storm last? It will last hours and hours. It might be gentle showers, but it will last a long time. And are the clouds coming your way? Well, look at the wind. The wind is blowing away from the picnic table. So would you have a picnic here? Why or why not? Well, the answers might vary, but I don't think I would have a picnic here. It looks like it's going to shower for a long time. And I would need a little more information. I would look the other direction in the sky and see what's coming my way to make a better prediction. But chances are it's going to rain, and I would probably say, no, thank you. Let's take a look at the next page. Here we have two pictures of a beach, and I'd like you to work on these two scenarios. Identify the clouds, tell if they are storm clouds and how long the storm will last. And if you're feeling like you are not confident in this yet, you can pause the video here and go back to your storm guide that you made last time and review those clouds. But keep in mind, you'll get better with practice. I'm going to have you pause the video here and work on numbers 3 and 4. Okay, we're back. Photo number 3, what clouds are in the sky? Let's take a look at the answer key. Clouds in the sky here are cumulus. So they're the white puffy clouds that are a little bit spaced out with blue sky between. Are they storm clouds? No, they are not. If they are, how long will the storm last? There is no storm here. And are the clouds coming our way? Let's look at that arrow for the wind is coming right at us. Yes. Now, would you go for a swim? And why or why not? I would. I see that those cumulus clouds are not rain clouds, but you can make your own judgment about that. Now let's look at the same beach later in the day. Look at the clouds now. It looks to me like those clouds have piled on top of each other and become cumulonimbus. Is that a storm cloud? Yes, indeed it is. And the storm here will be shorter, less than an hour, but it might be a more severe storm with possible thunder and lightning. Let's look at the arrow to determine the wind. It is coming right at us still. And would you go for a swim? Why or why not? Well, no, because there will be thunderstorms and it's not safe to be in the water during a storm. Okay. Um, I hope you feel like you're getting better with practice. Let's look at the last scenario here. It's a baseball game, and I want you to work on this on your own, and then so pause the video here, and then come back for a check. Okay. Okay, let's look at the answer for photo number 5, the baseball game. What clouds do you see here in this photo? I see stratonimbus, so they are spread out but heavy, and there's a lot of them. Uh, the clouds in the distance, however, are cumulus clouds. Are the clouds that are coming your way storm clouds? Well, look at the arrow of the wind, okay? So the wind is coming at us. So that means that this better weather, these cumulus clouds, are the ones that are coming toward us. So the ones that are coming toward us are not storm clouds. And so there will be no storm in the future, in the near future. Would you play the baseball game? Why or why not? Well, you could say yes, you could play. The storm clouds are overhead, but the cumulus clouds are the ones that are coming our way. So the weather should be okay for your baseball game, assuming the wind is moving uh, along. Okay, so I hope that you're feeling fairly confident about your storm prediction skills, and you can use this knowledge to go out and observe some clouds and make a forecast for yourself. You can learn better by getting more and more practice and by explaining these things to other people in your life, like your family. So I hope to see your forecasts on Padlet. Good luck, and we'll see you soon.